to explain it a little bit, I just printed off this picture. Now I don't have a color printer, so this project isn't done because now that I have the color palette done outside of her, I want to go in with some watercolors and kind of make her blend a little bit more because she's obviously black and gray and white. So I need to fix that, but otherwise I'm really happy with this project. I am struggling with dimension. So, and this is also a problem. It's not a problem. This is something I struggle with in regular paper crafting as well. It's hard for me to make anything really chunky. And in mixed media, a lot of the creators are familiar with fine arts. So they have a better understanding of depth, shadows, and colorways, and dimension, and they really know how to shadow, and, you know, they have a better understanding of all of those elements that I don't have. So this is a little bit better than, say, my first couple. I feel like I am teetering on the side of mixed media / collage. And that's annoying to me because I feel like this project could have been even more spectacular. You know, you have a vision in your head, and once you execute it, it's not quite there. But this is leagues better than, you know, what I started out with. So if you look closely here at the background, you can see there's some stencil work in there. Of course, the watercolors. And then I gave her a little halo, floral halo. We did some lace here on the side. You can use any of your trims in mixed media. That's really messy. That's another thing they don't talk about. So my first, it's not a gripe, but it's definitely a myth. Unless you have all of these things already prepped in your arsenal, it takes a very long time to prep your elements. So these flowers were pink and purple when they started, and I had to coat them with white gesso. Some of the metal pieces I had to coat with white gesso. The lace, it took almost a day for that to dry because I did white gesso, and then I just dipped it in watercolor paint and wrung it out. So then for the texture paste on the background, I had everything drying on my little cardboard pads, and then I worked on the background. Clear gessoed the image down, and then I went back with my texture paste and my stencils. Did that, had to let those dry. Even with a heat gun, you know, it's time consuming. I'm certainly not as slow as I used to be when I made Alicia and Pat's spoon canvases, which I may revisit and redo, but you know, it took me almost a week or two to do those because that was really my first full-on mixed media project. So so far I'm 2 days in on this project, and I thought it would be helpful just to talk a little bit, you know, in this first video series, that you don't have to have all of the name brand supplies. You don't have to, I mean, it's funny, one of the next projects I'm going to do, I'm going to go out into the yard and I'm going to get sticks and some natural elements that I can use in mixed media, because really nothing is out of the question. You can use anything. If you have a die that makes the cogwheels, you know, those these shapes here are cogwheels, and you see them a lot in mixed media. It's not just the trend steampunk, because this certainly isn't a steampunk piece. But if you have a die and you can make some of your own elements, you know, like these, this isn't a die, but I do have dies like this, so if I do want to make more greenery, then, you know, I have a die, I can do that. Let's see, what else did we want to talk about? So yeah, the time that this project takes, and the fact that you don't have to have all of the expensive supplies. So don't be afraid to grab what you can, and you may surprise yourself. And I am by far not an expert at all. I am not trained in fine arts. I took art in high school, and that was it. I've just always been a creative person. I've always loved painting, so this kind of gets me back into that wheelhouse now. This does not by any means mean that I'm abandoning paper crafts at all, but it's just another interesting outlet that I enjoy. So why not use up some of this stuff that's otherwise just sitting in my craft room being unused? Like this, it's painted shut now, but this little latch, I had it on a different project, and it didn't work on that project, so I ripped it off and threw it in the metal bin that I have. And so I decided it was almost the size of this large bottle cap. We're going to use it on this project. So again, like I said, you can use anything, whatever your heart's desire. Can't wait to get on to the next project. You know how it is when you have all these ideas in your head. So we're going to continue the Mixed Media Monday, hopefully. The next video you'll see is probably the finished project, this finished project. And then as we do this series, as time permits for me, I will go through the actual process. And we'll start with an empty can. Excuse me. I just had Subway, I'm sorry. We'll start with an empty canvas or whatever it is that I'm going to alter. And we'll do this together, and we'll learn together. So if you have any tips, tricks, what works for you, what you like to do, how I can get out of my head and build these projects up dimension-wise, I welcome all comments down below. So with that, thank you guys for checking out this video. Can't wait to finish this project, like I said, and we will catch you in the next video. Much love.